It's been 12 days since the results of the election were announced. I find myself in horror, disbelief, despair, terror, and rage while I seek the way forward. I know some may be confused at these strong emotions. They voted the way they did because they wanted an economic change. They believed the narrative about candidate Clinton and did not believe the narrative about the Republican candidate. They missed the racist, misogynist, bullying, ableist, hateful language and voted for other reasons. But that's just the thing. I saw the hate, and I can't unsee it. It is my hope that more people wake to the reality of the damage and wake to the way it is indeed all our business. I need my siblings to survive, my siblings of color, my disabled siblings, my poor siblings, my LGBT and T siblings. All are needed for the days ahead. And they are dying. Already, rational people with the clarity to recognize the social dynamics fear for their lives. 72% of Americans did not vote for the candidate who practiced and endorsed bullying, but that leaves 20% who perhaps want to tear apart immigrant families by deportation or internment camps, or who prioritized something else over people's lives. You 28%, we will need to talk. I agree that the 1% is concentrating wealth at our expense and that our federal government isn't working for us. I don't agree with this strategy to fix that. And of course, many did not vote at all. We're so divided. 42% did not vote. Candidate Clinton received 48% of the vote, and the Republican candidate received 46.7%. So, the 1/4 of Americans who did vote against bullying and the rollback of American freedoms, my friends, you who voted for the strength of an immigrant nation and the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, let's reach out to those who did not vote. We need to galvanize everyone to resist the destruction of our American dream. And there are many among the other 1/4 who are reachable. I've been checking the internet, hoping someone has found a way forward. Some suggest the strategy of street protests. Others suggest calling the members of Congress to influence the president-elect's cabinet. Some focus on the next election in 2 years. There are many down-ballot options, from correcting gerrymandering to small community initiatives. Some hope to abolish the electoral college. And some are imagining that the popular vote will prevail through some miracle of recount or electoral moral courage. Many of these things are possible. All will fail unless we can shift the divide in our country. The deepest sense of horror I've been feeling is the sense that I do not know my neighbors, and they don't know me. We don't know enough about each other to think about how our vote will help or harm someone else. 42% didn't care enough to sign up and fill out a ballot. 25% either actively wished that people like me did not exist or care more about other things than our life and liberty. I did not realize I lived in such an inimical environment. And here's where my siblings of color, family with disabilities, and friends who are marginalized have much to teach me. They've known that they live in a hostile world. They experience every day the system of oppression that led Audre Lorde to say, "We were not meant to survive." Truly, we cannot survive without one another. But in this divided and inimical world, they have been working to change the world anyway, to create community anyway, to connect and change minds and hearts and laws and culture anyway. All the ways forward require that we work together to change the world. All the ways forward require that we hold back the forces of destruction while also building the new way. All the ways forward require that we do not sink into helplessness, because the truth is we are powerless. We are powerless alone, and it is only together that we become powerful. Yes, it is true that we will experience and we will need to grapple with the emotions like horror, disbelief, despair, terror, and rage. We will need to, as the Banksy meme says, when we are tired, rest. We need to nurture ourselves and turn to spiritual practices that refresh and renew our souls. If you don't currently have a spiritual director, now would be a good time to make that phone call. Check the website at uusdn.net. For those who've been out there fighting with all your heart and soul, remember to breathe in as often as you breathe out, and to sleep and eat and pray. For those of us who've been complacent or distracted or overwhelmed, for those of us insulated by our privilege which allowed us to ignore the danger signs, it is time to, as Marge Piercy says, be of use and do what has to be done. A scientist recently discovered something that's intuitively true. When correcting someone's bullying or prejudiced behavior, it's helpful to be someone they can relate to and someone they perceive as having power. That means that if we have privilege, we have superpower. So I have a clear sense of calling, and this calling is not mine alone. The progressive and liberal faith traditions are full of people who've been called to do our part. It is time for us to be faithful to our principles. It is time for us to be faithful to our ideals. It is time for us to be faithful to the America that can be, to be faithful to the gifts we have been given. Let us be faithful to the work that must be done. Transformation blessings.